let's have a look at some of these fellas. Dover of Great Britain, Henry Dover, 6th last year, winner of the British Trials in Liverpool 2 weeks ago. In Belgrade back in March, he was 62nd in the World Junior Cross Country, but he's best part of a year stronger now. How will he go today? There is Laros. And how strong a favourite is he? Easily won a senior race in Tilburg in the Netherlands a couple of weeks ago. His father Marcel was a good steeplechaser. His mother was a good cross-country runner. Actually raced against Paula Radcliffe many years ago. Previous Dutch winner, Gert-Jan Liefers, who won the inaugural title back in 1997. Royal Sweden have Carl Ottfalk going here today. Ottfalk 4th last year, 6th in the World Juniors, over 3,000 in Lima earlier on last summer. In the last 2 editions, he's been 38th and 4th. And then the Norwegian Andreas Fjeld Elvosen, World Junior Champion over 3,000 metres, the first non-African to win a distance title at the World Junior Championships. That was in Lima a few months ago. In the last 2 editions, he's just been 67th and 50th, though. He really has come on this year. He could be a threat, even though he was 50th last year. And then, of course, the locals well represented as well. Ali Tunt, he goes here in his national colours. Balkan Junior Cross Country champion earlier on this year. May struggle against the very best from the Western Europeans, but we shall see. He's got home advantage, of course.
Much is on Niels Laros here in this under-20 men's race.
Well, away they go then. Exactly the same challenge in front of them. 3 laps, just over 4,800 metres for these young men. To be an under-20 athlete in this category, you must not reach your 20th birthday in the year of competition. So none of these lads are going to be 20 until after January the 1st. How do you gauge him? There's Laros to left of picture in the orange of the Netherlands. Blue bottoms right alongside him is Henry Dover. The Turks, of course, will give a good account of themselves in the early stages. Mazza of Italy is there. Francesco Mazza in the dark glasses. Just looking at him, he's best known as a steeplechaser. On paper, better at 1,500 than he is at 5,000. But the nice thing about these races being relatively short, 4.8 kilometres, it does give an opportunity for the middle distance runners, Laros being the perfect example, to shine in a cross-country championship race. That's a big pack, Hannah, about 10 across.
And I think this is the biggest field we've got of the whole day. There were, I think, 99 people down at the start, whether they've all made the start line. But this junior men's race, very, very popular and very competitive. And I think Mazza is starting to push ever so slightly at the front. You've got Alex Pintado of Spain in there, World Junior 1,500 metre bronze medalist, just on the inside in the yellow and orange vest. It is very congested. It's very busy. Laros is staying out of trouble, but he's really far back. When we look back at that junior women's race, all the big names very much up there at this stage in their race. With this big pack, it's going to start splintering and sorting itself out, but they've got those logs in there, they've got those hurdles. I just hope that this big pack doesn't get in its own way, if you like, and cause anybody to fall or trip or get really far back down the pack.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, I think so many of them are giving it some real juice in these first 2 or 3 minutes. That's why there's a big pack up in front. Laros just taking things nice and steadily back in about 15th or 20th place, keeping to the edge of the pack. I mean, when it's tightly bunched like this in some of these twists and turns, it can get a little bit dangerous, and you don't want to get spiked or be taken down with somebody clipping your heel. But Mazza it is who is beginning to push on here very strongly. Just looking at his CV, he's a 3:49 1,500 metre runner. Won the Italian junior steeplechase title earlier on this year. Those logs are being skipped over, no trouble at all. One of the French athletes moving to the fore now, and just checking, see which French athlete that is.
Italy, so much success in this age group with the Yemeni Berhan Kripa goes to its 12th successive European cross-country race later in the senior men's race. Mazza looks totally in control, and I was just trying to look at that shot. For me, Niels Laros is way down the pack at the moment. I just wonder if the Dutchman is in his best shape. You can see the orange vest just floating around mid-pack there. I just can't see Niels Laros being in that position if he was in perfect shape and really up for this race.
Well, no, you make a good point. I mean, you know, Ines Fitzgerald didn't get to the front until 5 minutes or so into the race, but she was always up there in the top 6 or 8, whereas Laros is languishing down in about 20th at the moment as we see the athletes go through after just about 1,100 metres in 3:13. Matza pushing on strongly at the moment. There's nothing on paper that says he's going to be able to hold that position. I'd love to be surprised and but wrong about that. But it is early stages. Less than 4 minutes on the clock as they negotiate one of those mounds, but still about 6 or 8 across the front end. Kara and Agun of Turkey giving a good account of themselves. Kara is an 8:18 3,000 metre runner. Another interesting athlete in there is Taras Heshko, if you remember that name, the Ukrainian. He's just 17 years old. His dad was a rather useful 1,500 metre runner years ago. I think won a couple of world indoor titles.
Yeah, I think so. Just nearing the top of the course before they come down the finish straight, this downhill. And Niels Laros, he is further up. He has moved 5-10 spaces. Suddenly, that's a real shame. The athlete perhaps coming in carrying an injury with that ankle strapping there, but I think Niels Laros is getting a little bit further up. Now, George Kuti was another man I was very interested to see run today. He's a junior, but he came 14th at the NCAA cross country representing Virginia out there. He's actually coached by Ben Thomas, the same coach as Cole Hocker. So if you're looking for pedigree, I think George Kuti, that he's not getting himself really involved, is that they've got 2 laps left to go.
Well, the thing is, he's right up there. He's a couple of seconds off the leader. Kuti hits the front for the first time, and with the NCAA championships, the American Collegiate Championships, is so tough. If you can finish in the top 20 in that, you're in fantastic shape. And if Kuti finished in 14th place, then we know he's in wonderful racing shape. And of course, the American Collegiate system, university system, they really do. If you're on university scholarship out there, they really do get their pound of silver out of you. They make you race and race and race. So we know that Kuti will have raced himself into wonderful shape for this particular challenge. Laros, though, up in the top 5 or 6, Hannah. And you know what? I think if you just ease your way up to the front steadily like this, and you're somewhere in the top half dozen by halfway, that's fine. I mean, he can start working and turning the screw a bit more through the second half, Laros. But, yeah, good to see him having plenty of competition at the moment. Kara is still there for the home nation. That's good to see as well. Kiyasettin Kara, second in the Turkish junior selection trial, which was held on this race, on this course. Again, big gaps developing as you go further back to some of these athletes struggling in the conditions. It's deceptive because the first mile in cross-country races is always hard and fast, and you have to be able to sort of absorb that and then kick on and put in a strong middle section. And if you're really not in good enough shape, sort of in track terms, in a race as short as this, Hannah, where it's under 5k, then you are going to struggle.
And I think perhaps that is what we saw Niels Laros do. I think athletes can flood their system with lactic in that first 400, 600. We saw them tearing away on the start straight, and then you're dealing with that for the next 5 or 6 minutes. You're dealing with that and trying to get back to neutral. And I think Laros just kind of said, there's a whole lot of men tussling out here. I'm just going to bide my time. And the Dutchman, he's very carefully picking his own line. He seems to be on the outside of the pack. You know, if you're on a track, he's running the longer line, but they're all pushing each other's back. They're all falling over the ground. And Laros is perhaps having an easier ride. And the pressure's on someone like George Kuti now. He's leading the race. He's leading a European Championships. And he's being very disciplined. He's not looking around it, but he will know all the big names just behind him there.
Ottfalk beginning to show now in that yellow vest of Sweden. He was 4th last year, the 18-year-old. He's served his apprenticeship 38th a couple of years ago in Turin, and then last year 4th in the mud of Brussels. And we're just past halfway now in this men's under-20 European Championship cross-country race. And Kuti moving really well, and other athletes really beginning to struggle in these conditions, which are just about perfect for cross-country. It's 12 degrees centigrade, as we saw a few minutes ago on the screen. Not much wind around. Kuti, Ottfeldt, Laros up there now into third place. He's taken it very, very steadily. I think he's run a very, very sensible first 8 minutes.
And Halvorsen still up there as well, the Norwegian in the white vest, just alongside Turkish athlete. Turkey were leading the team standings at the end of the first lap. I think they have slipped back ever so slightly. Look at that sea of Swiss vests as well. The Swiss team picking up that bronze medal on the junior women's side. Not a team we often see on the team standings. They do have their individual standouts, but they look like they could be packing well there in the top 20.
Jakob Dietrich of Germany going well too. He's up there in the top 4 or 5. Sort of Spanish this as well. I think that was Naranjo. Yeah, he was 15th last year. Unai Naranjo. He took a bronze medal last year with the Spanish squad. Was 15th, as I say, last year, so he's moved on nicely. But look at this surge. And is that Dietrich, who's now just surged ahead of Laros and Ottfeldt, and they hear the bell this time as they come down in front of our commentary position. Exactly one big lap to go. And there's still, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 athletes there in picture. And only a couple of seconds between them. But Laros got out sprinted last year, Hannah, by a cross-country specialist, I suppose you could say, somebody who showed real strength in the mud of Brussels. The surface today a bit better, and you might argue that the last 500 or 600 metres downhill finishing straight is more to his favour as a 1500 specialist.
For me, in Brussels, Niels Laros kicked too early. He kicked with around about 800 or a K to go, and he's only kind of shown his face here in the last mile of the race, and I'm sure he will have looked back at that race with his coach Thomas Lewandowski, who's so hot on his tactics. They will have looked back on that race and perhaps made adjustments, but it's one thing to make those adjustments in a cool, calm kind of hotel reception in the lead up to the race, but out there in the field, I think this for me, Niels Laros, he's just got to keep calm and get to the top of that home straight with the lead pack, and then you right him. That downhill straight will suit him just fine. But hey, I love the strength speed versus the track speed. Sprint finish in a cross country is one of the best things.
Well, France lead in the team race, but Ali Tunk of Turkey is the leader at the moment. Won the Balkan Junior cross country in his most recent race. Kuti is still there for Great Britain. Dover struggling a bit, back in about 20th place. It's still very, very tight indeed, considering there's about a kilometre to go. I cannot believe there's a pack of about 10 men that you could almost throw a blanket over here. The pace will pick up here now. Is this playing into the hands of Laros? There he is on the far side in that orange of the Netherlands. Ottfeldt giving a good account of himself still. He's been here and been there before. He doesn't want to finish fourth again as Ali Tunk continues to push on. And you look at his credentials. Well, he's only run 14:28 for 5,000, 8:04 for 3,000 indoors. Norwegian is up there as well at the moment, looking really strong. That's Halvorsen. What can he do? Can he get amongst the medals? There's still about 6 or 8 men there with a chance of getting amongst the medals. Although Laros keeps looking around, which makes me think he's just gauging his effort here and plans to get that sprint right.
Ali Tunk is having a fantastic race. He's got the advantage, the home advantage of knowing the course. He's run this. No one else will have raced here before. And Andreas Halvorsen, he looks like he's just starting to struggle a bit, the Norwegian there. I was going to say he had a wonderful closing lap to win the World Junior Championships in over 3,000 metres, but he is grimacing. You look at Laros, you're right, he's looking around, he's trying to gauge the danger. Kuti is sticking to Niels Laros like glue, the British athlete, trying to emulate the likes of Charles Hicks, who did so well in the NCAA system and then came and won European cross-country titles. But Laros, for the first time, that's a bit of a move from the Dutchman.
Well, they're just negotiating these last few twists and turns, and now Laros has turned it up another notch. He's clicked ahead here. 2:79, right behind him is Kuti. Feldjop Halvorsen is there as well. Tunk beginning to struggle now. It's beginning to break up a little bit here. Øyen of Norway going fantastically well here too. The 17-year-old having a brilliant run. He was second recently in the Nordic Junior Cross Country Championships, but this is the run of his life as Laros has a little look over his shoulder once again. It looks like he's got things under control, but has he? Kuti will give him a real challenge here down the home straight as they negotiate that log obstacle. And Laros now begins to turn it on, pumping harder with the arms. Halvorsen back in third place. Damani of France having a great run there to the left of picture as Laros kicks hard, and they're now flat out. The hammer has gone down. Laros into the home straight with Kuti right behind him. Can Laros take gold here after silver last year? It's going to be so tight as they come towards the line, with he and Kuti having been dragged clear of the opposition. But this is a 3:29 man over 1,500 metres. He set a world record over 1,000 in the summer. Now he wins the European title. He gets that elusive gold that he was denied last year by Christensen. And Kuti takes a superb silver for Great Britain, with Halvorsen just staying ahead of Øyen. The two Norwegians in different vests, bizarrely, in third and fourth. That's wonderful for them in the team race.
Look at the depth of this junior men's race. Good or bad, 5 or 10 seconds going to give you 5 different positions. What a run from Niels Laros, and you could see what that meant to him as well. You know, we kind of say a junior turning up, you know, he's global finalist, multiple time global finalist, a 3:29 guy. You say, why are you here running the European Cross? And you can see what that meant to Niels Laros. And it's a hard turnaround for these athletes that have gone to the Olympic Games. It wasn't that many weeks and months ago. Emotionally, to get yourself back up, put yourself on the line here when you don't have to. Niels Laros really wanted that. He's got track titles, and to underline that with a cross-country title is just wonderful from Niels Laros. Now, I hope the Dutch team have done well, because he was really excited about how they could do as a squad as well, and where was that third Norwegian scorer, with a wonderful third and fourth for them with Field Halvorsen and Øyen.
Well, Laros had to work really hard there. George Kuti did everything that could have been asked of him. It was a fabulous effort from the Brit. He's a 3:39 1,500 metre runner. On paper, many seconds behind Laros at 1,500 and at 5,000 as well. But boy, oh boy, is he going to have a summer next year when he converts this cross-country strength into track form. Brilliant run from him. He's just 19 years old, so he's got years more to compete in the NCAA championships in the USA. He's a silver medalist. He'll be very, very pleased, I suspect, having made the rostrum. That is the most important thing. Get there, get a medal. It's medals that define a career. Laros, of course, adds yet another gold at European under-20 level to the 2 golds in Jerusalem last year on the track. Fabulous race from these two, and it really did drag them well clear of the rest. There was 7 seconds between Kuti in second and Halvorsen back in third place. But yes, in the team race, we're still waiting for confirmation of how it works out, Hannah. That was quite some wind-up.
That was a lovely, lovely race, and I think Niels Laros, he deserves that gold medal. It was patient, it was well considered, and he didn't kind of take it for granted. He didn't disrespect the field here. You often see someone of his calibre, you might think they'd try and run off the front or not run your perfect tactical race, think you've got wiggle room. But Laros, he didn't put a foot wrong this morning, and particularly in that last kilometre, he used one of the hills on the back of the course to get himself into a good position. And looking at that finish straight, I think he kicked just before the logs, and he got a jump on Kuti, and Kuti never got back on contention with him. So third and fourth for Field Halvorsen and Øyen. And Brathen Borve of Norway was just behind in 10th place, which I think might give Norway the team title. George Kuti, as mentioned, a name to watch for the future.
That would be quite a turn-up, wouldn't it? Norway taking team gold in this competition. Of course, Jakob Ingebrigtsen taking individual gold on 4 occasions, astonishingly, between 2016 and 2019. The Norwegians have a great record here, don't they? Norway are confirmed as team champions with 17 points. Fabulous stuff from the Norwegians. Wow.
That is the Netherlands' first ever team medal in this competition. The women have had many through the years. They've done very, very well. But for Niels Laros, he mentioned that was part of his motivation for this championships, was he thought he could help that squad get their first ever medal. And France back on the podium for the first time since 2018. That was sort of off the back of the likes of Jimmy Gressier and co that used to pick up so many team medals for France. It's great to see them. And I want to say, I think that French team, they put themselves out there in that second lap. They were higher up, and I think they struggled they committed to trying to get that team medal, and they just came unstuck slightly as you saw that sort of strength and depth in the chasing pack. But somehow they kept themselves 2 points ahead of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
No, absolutely. Yep. Fabulous stage racing. There it is, confirmation of Niels Laros winning in 14:07 in this men's junior race, under 20 race. And Laros ahead of Kuti of Great Britain, taking gold by 2 seconds from Halvorsen of Norway, who led his team to the team gold. Halvorsen taking a bronze and the team gold with his teammate Øyen in 4th place, his consolation being that team gold. Ottfalk of Sweden finished 5th. He featured for much of the race. Damani of France, the best of their team, in 6th place. His consolation, a team bronze behind the Norwegians and the Netherlands.